In Lebanon, the Iran-backed Hezbollah group and their allies have lost their parliamentary majority in the first nationwide vote since a biting economic crisis hit the country, with the economy contracting a staggering 58% since 2019. Well, what implications will this have on the country and the wider region? I'm pleased to say I'm joined by Middle East expert Dr Chloe Kattar, a research fellow in history and a historian of the modern Middle East at the University of Cambridge. Thanks for joining us here on the show. We now have a hung parliament. How will this affect the country's ability to improve its situation, do you think?
So it's going to depend. So for the first time in Lebanon's history, we do have what we call independent parliamentaries who have won a lot of votes. So at the first level, it depends on how they act within the parliament. If opposition MPs can form a strong bloc and then impose themselves within the parliament.
And how do you think Hezbollah will react to this? They're usually used to getting their way in the country. Will they find it more difficult now? Will they have to do more deals to get their agenda across?
Indeed. So what's been talked about much recently is the fact that Hezbollah has lost the majority. Now, the problem is that there's no clear majority either. So it does seem that the balance of power have changed. And usually when Hezbollah loses its legitimacy, right? When it's not anymore dominant within state institution, what it does is that it could very well resort to political violence.
We're seeing people fleeing to Iraq. We're seeing people even taking small rickety boats to Cyprus. Is it really the total destruction of that country's economy and people's livelihoods that we're seeing?
It is. I think it's what's happening. The Lebanese crisis is the biggest destruction of wealth in history, at least in the past 150 years. So what is happening is that the inflation and devaluation of the Lebanese lira makes it hard for commerces and business to import foodstuffs. So on the ground, when they do, the price for people to go buy foodstuff in Lebanese lira is exploding, right? And so people are not, the job market is dying. There's a brain drain. So people are either going to other countries to find a job. Then obviously the poorest and the one with the lower skills are trying to flee in other ways. So we're seeing people trying to, as you said, take boats and go either to Turkey, to Cyprus, or to Europe. And this is something we didn't see in Lebanon. In past years, we would see it happening in Syria or in neighboring countries. But now it has come to Lebanon. This is the state we are at right now.